Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. Now, a few of you have reached out to me to do this video of who the next president is going to be on November 5th. And I want to say that no one is going to be happy with the outcome of this election, as a number one. Number two, um, view this video as an astrology lesson. Put your political views aside, as difficult as that may be, and just let me show you how, at least I do charts, right? And how the degree theory works. Now, I wanted to start with the main event, which is November 5th. This is the chart. Oh, sorry. This is done. Okay, here we go. Election day. Now, it doesn't have a rising sign because we don't know the time of the event. We're going to be voting the whole day, right? There are 3 or 4 time zones, actually like 4 or 5 time zones, because Alaska's way out there and Hawaii's too. So we won't know the winner of the election on November 5th. And November 5th itself is a difficult day. Now, the moon, which represents on a mundane level the inhabitants of the country, is in Capricorn. So the moon here is in detriment. That's why I'm saying no one is going to be happy with the outcome of this event, period. All right. Um, and it's at 0 degrees of Capricorn. So definitely, the 0 degrees is the purest, strongest form of Capricorn. Now, Pluto, which is also in Capricorn, is opposing Mars at 0 degrees of Leo. Here we go again. 0 degrees is the purest form of Mars in Leo. All right. Now we have a lot of planets that are retrograde. Saturn is retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. And you can tell by this little R next to it. Pluto's direct, so it doesn't have any R's. Pluto's direct in Capricorn on November 5th. So Uranus is also retrograde. And Jupiter is retrograde here. Now Mars will turn retrograde on December 6th through February 24th. Saturn will turn direct November 28th. Neptune will turn direct December 10th. Uranus will turn direct on January 30th, and Jupiter will turn direct February 24th. Now, like I said, no one's going to be happy. The moon is in Capricorn. We're going to have violence coming because Pluto in opposition to Mars. There will be demonstrations, protests, rebellion, because Uranus is in opposition to Mercury. Now, where can this take place? Mercury rules streets. It rules transportation places like the subways, the bus system, obviously the streets, right? And there will be sudden and unexpected events. Uranus bridges, the bridges can also be affected as well. Now, there are certain things that you can see that there are more squares, the little red lines, and oppositions, the big red lines. Those are more abundant than the sextiles, which are the blue little lines, and the trines, which are the big blue lines, right? So you can see that this is a difficult chart. Now, Because there is an opposition of Venus with Jupiter, there could be, the financial markets might be unstable, to say the least. Um, and then you have this Neptune is being sextiled by Pluto. Pluto is sextiling Neptune, and Uranus is sextiling Neptune. And then Pluto is trining Uranus. So the apex of this is Neptune. The little point where they merge is Neptune. So I would stay home in the evening. You go, you vote, you do your civic duty, and then you go home and you sit tight. All right. That's what I would do. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just letting you know that's what I'm gonna do, basically. Now, um, like I said, no one is going to be happy with the outcome, and we won't know the outcome on this day. With also with Uranus in opposition to Mercury, you might think you know who is going to be winning or who's going to win, and then it changes. Uranus. So my suggestion to you, stock up on groceries and water. So if the streets where you live are crowded or you can't get to a supermarket or whatever, you have food and water for a few days. All right, so let's take a look at Vice President Kamala Harris's chart. And according to Astro.com, she was born October 20th, 1964 at 9:28 p.m. in Oakland, California. Now, I will only be discussing the points that I think, like I won't be talking about the personal life. In other words, it's not relevant. I would just be focusing on the stuff related to the election. So she is a sun in Libra and a Gemini rising at 24 degrees. So that is the degree of Pisces. Now, the sun, if you guys know the essential dignities, right? The rulerships, the exaltations, um, etc., you will know that the sun is in detriment in Libra. Why? Because the sun is exalted in Aries. So, I'm sorry, the sun is in the fall position, right? So, again, the sun is in the fall position because it is exalted in Aries. The moon is in Aries. So that means that her emotions can be a little bit fiery. Um, Now, Venus is in Virgo, and this is also in the fall position because Venus is exalted in Pisces. And then we have Mars in Leo at 21 degrees, which is a degree of Sagittarius. So it's interesting because it's in the third house. So she communicates with a lot of foreign people, maybe foreign corporations or something to that. She has a lot of communications, third house with foreigners. Now she has Saturn in Aquarius, very close to her MC. And for the degree theory, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is in the fourth house. And in Hellenistic astrology, Saturn is the old ruler of Aquarius. But I did this worksheet on the fixed stars because I had done two videos prior to this one on just I did a video on like 5 presidents early on, right? And then I did one on Robert Kennedy, Biden, and Trump, where I said that, Biden would lose and he's not even in the race. But at the time he was. So I'll see if I can find them and link them below. so you guys can get an even more detailed explanation. But anyway, I did this worksheet, and let me stop sharing because I compared the fixed stars of all the presidents. No, let's start with President Harris or Vice President Harris. So her ascendant is at 24 Gemini. So this is the fixed stars that are conjunct her ascendant. And for ancient astrology, it has to be an exact conjunction or within 1 degree, right? So she has Anilam and Alpeka, which, Anilam is brief fame, quick temper, scandal, and it's a fortunate star. And this other one has honors, wealth, power, greed, aggression, and it's a fortunate star, and it's ruled by Mars. The other one is ruled by Jupiter, Saturn. Now, I highlighted the ones I thought were, most interesting, but we'll just take a quick look. Mars is conjunct a, it says here, own worst enemy. It's an unfortunate degree. No freedom to act on one's own behalf, and it's an unfortunate degree. Uranus is at 13 degrees, 25 minutes of Virgo, and Coxa is the fixed star, so it's good for voyages, gained by merchandise, redemption of captives, prophetic abilities, strength, wisdom, fortunate, because it's ruled by Saturn and Venus. And then Pluto is conjunct Mizar, connected with fires of catastrophic extent and mass calamities. Vashista, one of the 7 rising Hindu sages of Ursa Major, and it's an unfortunate fixed star. Now, Saturn is in Aquarius, and it is conjunct Gina. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, but these names are, not the average word. So, soar to great heights, potential of sudden downfall, and it's a neutral fixed star. And lastly, Jupiter is conjunct Saurak. So it's melancholy, fear of death, and suicidal tendencies. It's an unfortunate fixed star ruled by Saturn. And then she has Copulas, primitive male sexual energy, ruthless, penetrating, ruthless adventures, dishonesty, mass effects, especially from a meteorological basis. So it's also unfortunate with Mars and Mercury being the rulers. All right. So she has, let's say she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of her points in the natal chart that are conjunct fixed stars. Now, let me stop sharing here and go back to her chart. Okay, here we go. Now, I looked up because it was kind of interesting. She was elected president, a vice president, back on January 20th of 2021. And that's when she was having her second Saturn return. Because Saturn was in Aquarius and exactly on the 28th, 28 degrees of Saturn, it was March 21st, 2020 through July 1st, 2020. And then December 17th of 2020 through March 7th of 2023. So this is, I find very interesting. I think Saturn is the one that gave her the rise to Vice President of the United States. Because like I said, Saturn is conjunct the MC, right? All right, so now we are going to turn to former President Donald Trump and his chart. And then um, let me look at my notes here. All right, so former President Trump is a Gemini sun. He is a Leo rising at the degree of 29, which is also the degree of Leo, according to the degree theory. Now, for Mr. Trump, he has Uranus in the 10th house, so something that happens suddenly. And he has the moon in Sagittarius. So again, add 21 degrees dealing with foreign people, foreign countries, foreigners and then of course we all know that he's pretty well off. He has Jupiter in the second house and also Neptune in the second house. But he has Pluto in the 12th and Mars in the 12th. So these are things that happen behind the scenes. His sun in Gemini is neither in a good position or in a bad position. It's just neutral. Okay. So, but he has a very powerful rising sign because this rising sign is conjunct Regulus, which is a royal star. It is the most powerful fixed star in the heavens. It is, Regulus is the star of kings, of royalty, of presidents. So let me bring up his fixed star worksheet. And here we go. He has one, two, three. He has like 10 points or something like that. Conjunct, you know, his natal points. So um, he has a pretty powerful chart. Now, the ones, and he has Rigel, which is technical and artistic ability, inventiveness, humor, honors, riches, happiness. It's a fortunate star. Capella, inquisitiveness, open-mindedness, powerful friends, and it's a fortunate star. And this is all of these basically, but the ones that caught, like I said, the ones that caught my attention because he has a lot of them. I'm not gonna sit here and read all of them. He has Pollux, which is contemplative, speculation, audacity, astrology. So most likely he uses an astrologer, or he should use an astrologer. Ruin, disgrace, death, calamity, the immortal twin, the heartless judge. So this is an unfortunate star. But he has, like I said, Regulus, the most royal star, Raphael, the healing archangel, the watcher of the north, nobility, ambition, alertness, great power, status, leadership, sudden downfall, accidents, violence, and it's a fortunate star. So if you guys want to do a little bit of research, here are all the fixed stars, and you can go to the website and just search and see, if you want to do that. Now, let me go back to his chart. If you saw the video that I did, he has the sun at the 22nd degree, which is to kill or be killed. So that's not, the best thing for him. And in that video, I said that while he is president, he can be assassinated. Why did I say that? Because Neptune is at the 5th degree to be a president, right? Leo degree. And it is squaring Mercury, which is at 8 degrees, the degree of Scorpio, which this degree is a malefic degree, according to Nikola Stojanovic, who is the one that invented the degree theory, right? So, and Mercury is the ruler of his sun. All right. So let's go back now to, let's look at the solar return for Vice President Harris. Now, for the degree theory, wait, this is not the solar return. Hold on. This, where is it? Here we go. Um, this is the solar return for Vice President Harris. Now, she is, I couldn't find exactly, you know, where she was on her birthday. I found a whole bunch of like online events that were happening, but I don't know where she was in her on her birthday, but I would think it would be Washington, D.C. So anyway, this solar return that her birthday is going to be in a few days. Oh, October 20th, right? She's a Libra, so happy birthday, Vice President Harris. Is going to be open to the seventh house. Now, the seventh house is long-term relationships, either love or business. It could also be open enemies. So she is having Pluto in her first house. So she's going through a really big transformation. And it is in opposition to Mars in the seventh house. So there will be a lot of, hopefully she's not arguing with her husband, but it could be arguments or a battle with her open enemies. And it is squaring the sun. Now the sun is being squared by Mars and it's being squared by Pluto. So she is under a lot of pressure. This is not a pleasant time for her, right? But you know, she this year will be super, super important for her. I'm trying to find the notes that I wrote down for her and the solar return, but I don't know where they are. Okay, so she has Jupiter in the sixth house, which I found very interesting. In her natal chart, she has Neptune in the sixth. So she deals with either very spiritual people or criminals, and she was a prosecutor. So Neptune in the sixth, you would deal with criminals. But anyway, she has Jupiter in the sixth house, so she's being blessed with her daily job, daily routines, her health, and her job. So she has Uranus in the fourth, so that means that she will be changing residence. She will be moving. Now, um, she's being supported by friends. You can see Venus, money, and love in the 11th house are supporting her fight, basically. So she has a lot of support behind her. Now, transits. Well, let me do President Trump's or former President Trump's chart. Now, he has the solar return open to the first house because remember that he has Regulus. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't because he is a Leo rising. So this here is open to his 11th house. We'll see. Hold on, guys, because I'm like, all right, let me go here. So 11th house is 29 Gemini. So he has it open to the 12th house. no, I'm sorry, the 11th house, because the 11th house I'm sorry for the back and forth. The 11th house in his natal chart is 29 degrees of Gemini. So if the solar return is open to 0 degrees of Cancer, the 11th house is open to the 11th house. Solar return is open to the 11th house. Now, the 11th house is what you do in retirement. They're your friends, your social network. Um, it's also politics. So it is open to his political side. And then you have the moon, which is almost conjunct, it is conjunct the IC in the fourth house. And it's being opposed by Saturn. So he is getting a lot of, you know, a lot of negative feedback, right? From people. And we're looking at it from a mundane level, right? So, but he has Jupiter is the one that's been saving him from death. Pluto in the eighth house. So for right now, and you see that Uranus is trining Pluto, so things that happen suddenly, right? But then you see here, he's being attacked by Mars in a square to Pluto in the eighth house. So, and he has Saturn and Neptune in the 10th house, but they are in sextile to Uranus, both of them. And then Jupiter is also sextiling Neptune. So, yeah, okay. Now, if we go to the transits, so let's go to here, Kamala Harris. The transits you can get from just clicking on this little button, and then this little circle with the outside planets comes up. All right. So Vice President Harris has Jupiter on the ascendant, but Jupiter is going retrograde. So it is separating from her 24 degrees of Gemini. Now, I can say both of these charts, they look, it's hard to judge, right? It's hard to make a decision to some extent, but when you look at the transits and you look at the natal promise, this is where I made my, astrological decision, right? Jupiter is basically in her 12th house, and it's going to be going back, right? So she has, like I said, the sun in detriment because it's in Libra. And she has Saturn and Neptune transiting the 10th house. Saturn is the one that gave her the position of vice president. When Saturn transits the 10th house, if you have not done a good job, you lose the position. She also has Neptune transiting the 10th house. And Neptune is to not see clearly, but also to lose something. So based on the transits and the solar return, and especially the natal chart, the natal promise, a sun in Libra is not one of the leaders according to the degree theory. The theory says that Aries, Leo, and Capricorn are the three leaders of the zodiac. So I do not think that she will be elected president. Okay. But Saturn will decide. If she's done a good job, then she won't lose it. But if she hasn't done a good job, then Saturn is going to take it away from her. Now, for President Trump, I think he's going to be the next president. And let me tell you why. Now, his rising sign, well, first let's go through the transits. Number one, Saturn is going through his seventh house, so he's being attacked by open enemies, right? And these are powerful people because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the natural ruler of the MC, the 10th house, right? So it's the highest part of a of a natural natal chart, okay? So Saturn is transiting there. So he's being attacked by very powerful people. Now, the eighth house, you have Neptune transiting there, and it is the ruler of the eighth house. That's why there have been attempts at his life. So while he is president, he is in danger of losing his life. Why is that? Because the ruler of the eighth house is Neptune at 5 degrees to be a president. And like I said, it is squaring the Mercury, the ruler of his sun, which is to kill or be killed. Now, Regulus is the royal star of kings of, it's the highest, the best fixed star, right? And then the sun is in the 10th house. So he would be an important person, but he has it in Gemini. Gemini is always true. So he will be a president again the second time. He is 78 years old, so I seriously doubt that if he loses this election, he will run again. Okay. So that's why I'm thinking he will be the president again. Two. Gemini is always two. He has Uranus transiting the 10th, so there are going to be changes in his career. He is not president now, so he can become Uranus, which he has it natally in the 10th house, will make him president again. And he has Jupiter transiting his 10th house. So, based on the degree theory, right, he was, how do you call this? He was born to be somebody famous, to be somebody, a king, a president, a lot of wealth because he has Jupiter in the second house. And then the ruler of his sun, which is most people that have, unless the sun is really badly afflicted, most people that have the sun in the 10th house do get a high position wherever it is that they work, a director, a president, vice president, like higher up in the chain of command. And because his sun is in Gemini, it will happen twice. So basically, what I am saying is that the next president of the United States will be Donald Trump. And like I said, consider this an astrology lesson. Don't, put your political views aside. This is how I see the event that's going to happen on November 5th. I don't think we're going to know for a little bit who the president is. So now, once Donald Trump is elected president, they will try everything in their power for him not to take power. They, just like last time, they were starting to impeach the man the day he got elected, basically. So he will go up against that again. And his life continues to be in danger. And I just heard today that there was, I don't know, he was somewhere doing some political rally or whatever, and they caught a guy with guns and stuff with fake ID for the press, you know. So he continues to be in danger. Oh, and hold on. One more thing that I wanted to share with you guys, because you just have to sit back and look. and see what happens. This is, no, this is, yeah, this is his natal chart. So another way that he and Vance should not be traveling together, because another way that they could try to assassinate him would be at night, Neptune, while traveling, Mercury, for politics, 11th house. So he and his vice president should not be traveling together. So that's another way. I mean, he could also be poisoned, right? Second house is food, poisoned with fish or in the evening, um, or traveling by sea is another way, right? Traveling, Mercury by sea, Neptune. That's the other way that they could attempt to assassinate him. Um, which nobody should, whether you like the guy or not, nobody should wish somebody else's death. That's my opinion. Anyway, I hope that you have learned the way I read charts. And this was a little bit complicated, but let's see what happens. But I do think that President Trump will be the president. I don't think, like I said, if it's not this election, I mean, Vice President Harris does not have the chart of a leader, and it basically goes down to the natal promise. All the transits, the progressions, the solar return, but what does the natal chart say? And that is the natal promise. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Anyway, I hope that if you have learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody who's also studying astrology. Whether you liked the outcome of this video or not, I can't help that, but that's the way I see things. Um, if you want a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.